Hello, everyone. Welcome to Grip Locked, the Round 3 USDGC and Throw Pink Women's Disc Golf Championship round recaps and looking into the final day. It was definitely a wet day out there. Lots of rain was coming down, and it was also turned into like a cold day. As the day went on.
It was cold.
It was kind of miserable.
Sadness.
It was about
if you guys
as bad
ever
as
watch
the weather could have
Harry
been.
Potter, and when the Dementors like come in and it sucks all the happiness, when it like sucks all the sadness and warmth out of the world, that's basically what it was from like holes.
The weather was about as bad as it could have been.
Basically,
Until
most
hole,
of Brady's round. Most of Brady's round.
13 of Paul's round.
Whenever the light peeked through, it was a miracle.
That was. It gives me chills just thinking about
Are
it.
you gonna tell your whole Lorax thing again? Because you already made us all feel uncomfortable whenever you said that.
No. Okay. Listen, if you've ever read the Lorax, in the Lorax, there's like pollution, like it's like covering the whole sky, right? And he like grabs himself by the seat of the pants and he jumps up out of there. And when he jumps through like a little hole in the pollution, and you can see like the sunlight coming through. So that happened today, and I was like, oh, I wonder if the Lorax is up there. I'm funny, right? Well, no, apparently I'm not, because these guys haven't been cultured and read the Lorax.
Nah, man, that sounds a little too political for me.
The Lorax?
He speaks for the trees, man. There's got to be a disc golf thing in there somewhere. Lorax speaking for trees, hitting trees with discs. There's somebody's gonna make a lot of money off of merch somewhere in there.
Probably not.
And it's probably gonna be Jomez Pro, and it's gonna be like a Nate Sexton shirt.
So far,
Didn't he already have a tree related one?
Why are trees? He wrote a poem.
So that's what I'm saying. Like this is happening, but I have intellectual property over everything.
You claim a lot of intellectual property on this show that doesn't actually happen, but doesn't matter.
But
what did happen was round 3 today, so let's throw it over to the course, with a much sadder and wetter me to tell you what went down today. And that wraps up a wild day 3 out here at the Throw Pink Women's Disc Golf Championship and the United States Disc Golf Championship. On the Throw Pink Women's side, Paige Pierce came into the day with a commanding 5-stroke lead, ended up shooting at 18 over par and losing 22 strokes in one round to your new leader, Missy Gannon. Missy Gannon is followed closely behind by Haley King and Valerie Mandujano, 1 stroke back, and you have Owen Scoggins rounding out the lead card, sitting only 2 strokes behind. Going into tomorrow, it's definitely going to be an interesting battle because I would say there's probably 6 or 7 people that could realistically win. Could be more because we saw what the course did to Paige today. No reason it doesn't do it to someone else tomorrow. You're definitely going to want to keep your eyes out on the score or on the pay-per-view for the Throw Pink Women's Championship. On the men's side, the weather was definitely a factor. The first about 12, 13 holes for most of the main cards, torrential downpour most of the time. It was pretty miserable out here. I'm not going to lie to you. Only saving grace for me was coffee that I got around hole 9. Really turned things around for my spirit and the weather, so shout out to the coffee. Paul was able to take advantage, though. He ended up shooting 11 under par today, puts him in the lead by 1 over Chris Dickerson, Drew Gibson, 3 strokes back of Chris, and then Martin Hindle rounds out the lead card, and Ricky is sitting tied with him head of the chase card going into tomorrow. Definitely a lot can happen tomorrow out here. Very solid round from Paul. He looked very stress-free, very in control. It'll be interesting to see if he can get a good start and keep that same energy tomorrow, or if someone else is going to push for the lead. But again, same thing as Throw Pink Women's. A lot can happen on the final day, and you're not going to want to miss out. Let's throw it back into the prize pick breakdown. From what I understand, we got some sad boys to hear. All right, let's jump right into the prize picks breakdown. Don't forget, you got one final day with USDGC to use code GRIP to get a 100% match on up to your first $100 of your first deposit over at prizepicks.com. PrizePicks is the first to offer daily fantasy disc golf. You can pick 2 to 5 players and an over-under on their projections, which is their round score for the next day. And you can win up to 10x on any entry. And for USDGC week, if you pick alongside Trevor or myself and it hits, you'll get a 25% bonus on the payout. That means if you win $100, you'll be getting $125 just for playing alongside us. Now, if you're playing alongside me, you're not seeing that 25% bonus anytime this week, but that might change.
We got ourselves.
Trevor actually hit today.
We got ourselves.
I was so far away from hitting that I just assumed Trevi. I just assumed Travis didn't hit, but he did. So
it's not a big deal. It was 3 out of the 5 on the flex play, so it wasn't a huge winner, but a winner all the same.
It's a winner.
That's called moving in the right direction.
That's something.
And if you had the boost, you would have won more. So
yeah. My account says 0 entries won, $0 amount won right now because I had the Missy Gannon over. She hit the under.
I had her under.
Paul Ulibarri over, and he decided to pop off today. Hit the under.
That's the funniest one. Not the funniest one. Actually.
I had the Ricky under. He shot over. He shot 63. And then I was a solid 20 strokes off on the Paige Pierce under. So that's fun. Now, for tomorrow, I'm going to just be straight up honest with you. After I walked with the Throw Pink Women's FPO lead card, I'm terrified of the FPO field. Because everything that I thought was going to happen didn't happen, and everything I didn't think was possible to happen, like Paige Pierce shooting 18 over par, did happen. And so
roller coaster
I decided, here's what I decided.
What did you decide?
I basically picked every player that's on this list that was in the tournament and took the under. Because my logic here is surely at least 3 of them are going to shoot well. So if I have all 4 of the Paul, Chris Dickerson, Drew, and Ricky, surely I can't curse all of them.
Yeah. I like that. I actually like that strategy a lot.
And then I have to have an over. And Adam Hammis had a rough day today. And his line is set at 61. He shot a 63 on day 2, 69 day 3. So I took the over on Adam Hammis because now Yuli broke my heart. And so I don't want to trust him with it again. But I'm not going to encourage you to pick alongside me because actually it might be smart to fade me. So you might want to take the over on Chris, Drew, Paul, and Rick and the under on Adam. Because if you would have done that for today, you would have 4 for 4.
Listen,
4 for 4. 4 for 4.
Listen, my picks are trending upwards right now. I am hot. So yeah, exactly. So listen carefully. I've got 2 overs. I'm going with the 5-pick flex play again. That's my go-to.
Nice.
I've got Coling over 62.5. Seems pretty feasible. I'm kind of surprised his line was as low as it is. Kevin Jones over 61. He hasn't impressed me this event, and I think he's probably checked out. Now this is when I did kind of a similar strategy as Hunter, where I took 2 guys. I took Dickerson and Paul, both guys that are in it, and I think are both going to challenge. And I've got them both under. So I got Dickerson under 60 and Paul under 58.5. And then I've also got Missy Gannon under 68.5 because I think she's going to win. So there you have it.
Well, dang.
I like it.
So again, don't forget, if you are a first-time depositor at prizepicks.com, use code GRIP and you'll get a 100% match on up to your first $100. And if you pick alongside Trevor or myself, probably smarter to go with Trevor, and it hits, you'll get a 25% bonus on the payout for USDGC week. Thanks again to Prize Picks for supporting Grip Locked and supporting Disc Golf. Let's go into our segment that we've brought for this week. Might be the last one you hear of this for a little while. We'll probably bring it back in the offseason at some point. Something cool happens. But the electric moment of the day. Let's throw it over to... Actually, I want to save Connors for last.
That sounds good.
Connors is a special one. So let's throw it to Trevor. Very special. Let's hear Trevor's electric moment of the day today.
So my day was in need of electricity because...
Actually, it probably wasn't because you were sopping wet.
No, actually, okay. So I have a literal electric moment of the day. The other day it was like that transformer exploding. Today's literal electric moment of the day was when I got roped into doing UDisc live scoring, and so I was doing that and live tweeting, and I knew my phone was gonna die, but the UDisc guy had a charger.
Boom!
Literally electric moment. So that's my literally electric moment. My other ones. So Brody's round was so cold and so rainy, both literally and metaphorically. And I was so miserable by the end of it, knowing that like I wanted to like watch the other cards, but I was like, I think if I stay out in this rain, I'm gonna be getting sick. Like I was soaked to the bone, like so cold. And then I was kind of just like, I felt like a refugee. I was like hiding under a tent, just like standing there thinking like, what do I do next? And then Connor texted and was like, you should come over towards the Stone House, which the Stone House was like this house behind Hole 9 where like there's like a media and staff like room where you can watch coverage and like there's food and drinks in there. And I was like, that's a great idea. I didn't even think of that. So I go in there and I look in the fridge and there's this croissant chicken salad sandwich. Didn't look like anything special, but that sandwich in hindsight was the turning point of my day. I sat there and I stood there. I stood there all by myself for at least a little bit until Hunter and Connor got there, and I ate that sandwich, and I just felt like the feeling started coming back to my fingertips. And I think that was really what pushed me on for the rest of the day and was able to deliver on that great spectating performance. So
there you go.
Let's hear it for that.
That chicken salad sandwich is electric.
Let's give it up for the chicken salad. Mine's actually pretty similar to Trevor's because we got out there early for Dean's Cup, which we'll hear a little bit about Dean's Cup later in the show. We walked with Dean's Cup. I left them to go walk with the lead card of the women. Walked with the women through most of their round, then popped back, walked with Brody for a little bit of his round, then popped back to catch the end of the women, and then the beginning of Paul's round. And then I walked with Paul out there all day, rainy all day. So I'm on hole 9 now. My hands look like I just got out of being in the pool for like 18 hours when I was a kid. I had a nice rain jacket on, didn't matter. My polo and everything's getting wet underneath. Connor has the umbrella because I gave it to him for his camera, and the outer edge is dripping on my right shoulder. We were all in the same mental state of
it's like Chinese water torture.
We were all in the same mental state of we need to stay here for our job, as far as like media and watching what's going on and tweeting about it, but we don't want to be here. So we're all considering our options of like, how can we do our job, make people think we're still on the course without being on the course? And that's when the Stonehouse idea came in our heads. I'm not a big chicken salad person, so I walked in not for the food. I was just happy to be out of the rain. But then I turn around and there's a Keurig machine.
Just a lonely Keurig.
Just a lonely Keurig machine.
Unsuspecting.
With some Folgers next to it and blue Solo cups.
And some hope.
And a whole lot of hope. And so I made the coffee. I didn't even drink it at first. For the first 10 minutes we were outside, I just held it. And it like thawed out my hands. And I was holding it literally just like up against my body. And the steam was coming off, hitting my chin.
That's great. That is wonderful.
And then I was just holding the cup.
That's heartwarming.
That is a beautiful moment.
It really did. Like,
that
I
is
could
a chin-warming moment.
I could feel my bones de-thawing. And then as I would drink it, I could feel it. Oh, I could feel it all the way down. It was the turning point. After that, I was in a great mood. It was raining. I couldn't even feel the rain hitting me anymore. Wow. I was just skipping on cloud 9. And then
it's like a Folgers ad.
And then the Lorax popped through the freaking clouds and the sun popped out.
Exactly.
And the Folgers, the best part of waking up, the best part of my day was the Folgers in my freaking cup. I'm going to say it.
I will say.
They're not paying me to say it, but I'm going to say it.
This is not my electric moment, but it felt like me and Hunter were having a great time. Just walking around We were having a good time, but we were also wet and cold.
Yes.
But we were having a really good time. Trevor wasn't having a good time. I'm sure he liked hanging out with Brody, but other than that, he wasn't having a good time because he was sopping wet. But once the three of us met up, the rest of that round, that was an electric round.
There was a lot of people giving us weird stares.
Yeah, we definitely made a scene a couple times.
Well, we weren't being loud or distracting players, but we were laughing and having a lot more fun than anyone else out there.
Sorry we were having fun out there, I'm sorry.
The other thing that was up, I think it's a partial electric moment for all of us.
This was a shared electric moment.
We got
very much
for sure the most electric.
Yeah, we got through hole 12. We're on hole 13, and there's like a 4-card backup on 13. Connor and I both have to pee, and there's a porta potty on the backside hedges of 12. So Connor walks kind of towards it and quickly realizes that there's about 6 or 7 inches of water.
Yeah, it was
around this thing.
It was like deep water, and I was like, my shoes are already wet. I'm not gonna walk in there.
It was darn near out to sea.
So then it became an ongoing thing of like
the porta potty's in the middle of this lake.
Yeah, so we were like, it became this ongoing thing of like, who's one of us is sending it into this water, but who's it gonna be? Because like I was getting to the point where I thought I was gonna wet my pants. It was that bad. So I'm standing there and I'm like,
it would have made you warmer at least.
Is it worth it? Is it worth going in there? Connor and Trevor just kind of saying it as like a joke of like, oh, one of us should go in there. Hunter, you got to do it.
Hunter was very deeply considering it.
I was deeply considering it. And about that time, this hero in a golf cart rolls up.
Out of nowhere.
With a cape on. It was Superman.
No, he didn't have a cape on.
He had a mustache, though.
He did have a mustache.
It was amazing.
And he looked fresh to death. He pulls up, screeches up in the golf cart, hops out. It was like a scene out of a movie. Just slow motion, goes through this lake, about up mid-shin height. And just starts manhandling the porta potty.
I have ever seen in my life.
He just chugs
dude
over.
Knew what he was about for sure.
He just chugs over, and I'm like, oh, this guy's really gotta go to the bathroom. Like he's sending it. No,
he grabs it by
both ends of the porta potty and just starts wiggling it through the lake.
It's amazing.
Gets it all the way out, and I'm just so mind blown by what's going on that I don't even think of like I need to go to the bathroom. So I'm like, oh my word. The second he gets out of the lake, this woman out of nowhere just runs up and goes into the bathroom.
And then there's just a line.
And then I'm like, what just happened? That was insane. Like a random like bystander, a volunteer hero, the type of people that you hear about, but you never get to see in real life. He came flying from around the hedges and starts pushing with the guy.
Yeah, and then that really proves how deep the water was because he's like, he just comes around the corner. He just wants to help. He literally came around the corner and saw this guy's trying to move this. Was like, I'm gonna help him, and literally steps off the curb into the water and goes to like his calf.
It was almost to his knee. So they push it out, and I'm just like flabbergasted by this. By the time like reality sets in and like the slow motion speed ramps back up to full speed, there's a 15-person line, and I still have to freaking pee myself. So, anyways,
pee yourself.
I just sent it.
Yeah, so that was an electric moment for all of us.
That was pretty great.
I didn't actually pee myself. Neither of them heard that part. I walked over to hole 7 and found a different porta john, porta potty, whatever you want to call these things. But that was insane. Only to be capped by or topped by. Go ahead, Connor.
Well, I will say both of your electric moments have to do with like a snack. Well, so does mine. But that snack is Drew Gibson.
Gross. Oh my gosh.
So basically, what happened was Drew Gibson. You guys have probably seen on the podcast.
Wait, Drew who?
Gibson.
Oh, Gibson.
So Drew Fender. He that's funny because it's a different guitar brand. Anyway,
never heard of that.
Fender.
Just keep going, man.
Okay, this is like one of the biggest guitar brands in the world.
Oh, Gibson is a guitar brand.
Yes,
there it is.
Anyway, so Drew Gibson is my like dark horse pick to win the tournament, but also low key just kind of my pick to win the tournament because I think he's looking really good right now. And
his tattoos look sick.
His tattoos look really good. So today he's playing an amazing round, playing out of his mind. So I make a Twitter post about it, and I'm just like, heck yeah, Drew Gibson for the freaking win. Let's go, or whatever. And then, like, right after I say that, he goes into the back nine and bogeys, like, 4 holes in a row.
Let me actually read these tweets.
Okay, go for it.
Just 'cause I think it provides better context.
Yeah, it's important to have journalistic integrity.
Yeah, so Connor, all caps, come on, at Drew Gibson for the freaking win. End all caps. I love you.
It's important that you mention that he said I love you. That is important.
Next
Connor
tweet,
left that out conveniently.
So Connor then goes, or not Connor, Drew goes bogey, double bogey on 10, 11, 12.
He got cold feet.
And then Connor said, never mind, ... You're breaking my heart. And then the like bandaged heart emoji.
It's a good choice.
Then shortly after that tweet, Drew goes birdie. And Connor tweets, oh yeah, the boy is back. And then at Drew Gibson.
Yeah,
so that's the
just spelling out a
tweets.
tumultuous relationship, just full of ups and downs.
So we are in the car on the way back from the round, and Drew likes both my tweets, and I'm like, heck yeah, I'm famous, like as a joke, because I love Drew Gibson. And then I get a text from this number I do not have saved in my phone, and I jokingly say to the guys, oh, I just got a text from a number I don't know, I bet it's Drew Gibson. I open my phone, and it is Drew Gibson. It is him. He just sends 3. Well, he didn't say it was him, but I know it's him because we confirmed the number with Brody. But he sends 3 heart emojis and then says, like, hey, man, thanks for the support, even if it was kind of sarcastic. And basically, he just didn't know if it was sarcastic or not. I sent, like, a winking face, and I texted him back, and I was like, it's not sarcastic, dude. I'm in love with you. I didn't exactly say that, but basically that's, like, how it went. So I was texting Drew Gibson. He texted me first.
That is pretty cool.
That was electric. That was probably the most electric moment of my life.
Yeah, that was pretty.
I was like, I think that trumps getting the finger guns from Paul.
Ooh,
it definitely trumps.
Wow, Paul's in the hot seat.
Wow,
because Paul, like I see Paul often.
Game.
That's insane.
Like we know Paul, but like Drew, I mean, he's a cool guy, and he texted me. That made me feel special.
Is there anybody like else out there in the field that could like text you or like something like that could happen out of the blue that would be more electric? Like who's like that guy that you'd be like, no way that guy like knows I exist?
Well, I knew Drew knew I existed, but I think he's one of my favorite players out in the field because he's got a great personality.
Saying, like, who would top that moment? Yeah. If someone
like
someone
the same scenario
like,
happens, but it's a different
who tops it?
And it doesn't have to be anybody because I mean Drew is it's pretty cool to be in the ends with Drew, but
I don't know. I think that it would be bizarre if it was like one of the top guys. Not that like I'm super huge fanboys over them, but it would just like be so random. Like if I got like a text from Simon or Eagle, that just wouldn't make any sense to me. Right. And I would just be really confused, but it would be cool because it doesn't make any sense. But I think who it would mean the most coming from, I don't know. I like that I kind of know Drew. I like that it's kind of a friendship. So I think I don't know.
You're
I'm not
here
sure.
first, folks. Kind of a
friendship.
I'm not sure
blossoming.
I'm not sure that
Facebook relationship status. Kind of a friendship.
Yeah, I'll take that.
That's funny. You should be able to do custom relationship statuses because I could have a field day with that.
I feel like the
I put myself in a relationship with a Cheez-It on the right day.
I feel like the Bogey Bros and the +1 have a good relationship with Drew. I feel like he's our boy.
He's like,
well, two of you do.
He's like the honorary.
No, you
Bogey
definitely
bro.
do. He likes you, Hunter. He likes you.
No, two of you do.
He's like the honorary Bogey Bro.
Yeah.
All I know is he's
I don't need
tweeted.
to hear
He's
your
the birdie
sob
bro.
story.
He's tweeted about Trevor. He's texted Connor. He's dead to me.
Maybe
He thinks about
Drew's
you.
the birdie bro.
Drew's the birdie bro.
No, he can't.
Somebody
He
came
can't
up
be
to me today and asked me legitimately who throws further between me and you. He said
He asked me the same question.
Yeah, he said there was a heated debate between him and his buddies, and
I heard your answer. I didn't give the same answer.
What did you say?
I said 100% I do.
I think it kind of depends on the day.
That's
you
what Trevor
say
said.
that?
Because I think I throw farther than you.
You're stirring it up right now. You know you don't believe that. I said
I think
exactly
it
what
depends
Connor
on the
said. I
day.
said I think it depends on. It could be any given day that one of us is throwing further than the other.
Yeah.
I've
seen it.
I mean, that's obviously true.
I'm sure that there are a few people that know you guys' games as well as I do.
What would you have seen to make you believe otherwise?
If you give us both 10 throws, it's going to be close. But I think if you go
like we went out there just the other day and I beat you in a speed contest.
Speed has nothing to do with this.
Speed has nothing to do with distance, folks. That is a quote from Hunter.
No.
Right here on the podcast.
I'm posting that on Twitter right now.
Speed has nothing
I'm
to do
just saying
with
if we were
this.
that close, like then you can't say with like a stern like yes.
I think I can throw the disc farther than you can. Not consistently, not in a like.
So what makes you think that?
I just think that if like we did like 80 throws, my farthest is going to be farther than your farthest.
Why?
I don't know. I just think so.
Okay.
I also feel like in golf, like we're playing holes, like you have to get more flex, and I can just go more flip up on certain shots.
Oh my god.
It might be because we just played the USDGC round, and I was throwing really far that day. So maybe that's just why I feel that way.
I'm surprised you're so arrogant.
I'm not arrogant. I'm just.
That's pretty arrogant.
He asked me a question. I gave the answer. I said I think I throw farther.
There's just no evidence to support that. Every distance competition we've ever done on the channel, I've beaten you.
Well, I get nervous in front of distance comp.
Well, then you don't throw farther than him any given day.
I never said any given day.
You said 100%.
No,
I throw farther.
He's going with like the pure genetics.
I think I throw farther.
Okay.
I think Trevor could beat me any given day.
Which I also find hilarious.
Okay. Well, that's not fair because there's no real way to test that out.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I mean, it's the same thing of like.
I'm just a little disappointed because I gave an answer that was giving
10 distance shots.
It depends on the day.
I gave an answer that gave us both the benefit of the doubt, and you went right for my neck, and that's a little disappointing.
Well, to be fair, when I answered the question, he had already said he asked you, and he wanted to hear if my answer was the same.
And you thought I would have said like that.
I thought you said you threw farther. So
I guess that says a lot about what we think of each other. You know. I don't know.
I'm just saying.
Or does it say a lot of what you think of each other, or does it say a lot of what you think the other one thinks of you?
Yeah. That's it. That's what I meant.
I just really thought Trevor said he was going to say he threw farther than me, so I wanted to make sure I defended myself because I think that I can throw farther than Trevor.
I mean, I have to say there's nothing wrong with thinking that you throw farther than somebody else, but I also have to say that I think that it just depends on the day. I just think it depends on the day.
But yeah, I agree with that statement.
I don't think that.
I just think I'm physically capable of throwing the disc farther.
That just doesn't. That just does not add up.
Right now, that's all I'm saying.
Like, why would that add up?
I don't know.
It's a ridiculous thing to say.
Like, where's the genetic disconnect? Like, where are you gaining that distance? Where is it coming from?
I don't know, man.
I
don't know.
Okay. All right, that's fine.
I mean, this podcast is all over the place right now.
We can move on.
What is going on?
I didn't expect it to go anywhere because I thought he was just gonna say, yeah, I said either of us, it's pretty close, but I didn't expect him to pull that one.
Well,
out
I never
like that.
said it was like not very close.
Well,
I'm talking like I can throw 450, you throw 440.
That's not even like a thing. Like you don't say you throw further than somebody if it's a 10-foot difference.
Guys, don't break up.
Let's just pull. Do you measure many throws in U-disc?
No.
Okay, never mind.
That just depends on how good the service is.
Yeah, it's literally plus or minus
15 feet.
Yeah.
I don't measure.
What did I just say?
So between the two,
if it was more than 15 feet, then it's pretty obvious.
No, it'd have to be more than 30 feet.
Yeah.
Because 15 feet would be the margin of error.
Mine says like fair 23 feet sometimes.
And I've got shots on U-disc that are probably a billion feet because they're probably downhill, downwind.
That's true.
Like it's impossible.
I'm kind of curious though now.
I think I have a U-disc shot that's like
Pull yours up. This isn't to prove anything. This is just now. I'm just
because I would not vouch for any of these throws because I know that my furthest throws on UDisc are at the East Course and they're downwind, and I've got one that's an absolute.
How do you find this?
Yeah. Okay. You're gonna be sick to your.
Throws.
You're gonna be sick to your stomach.
Oh no! You're gonna be sick to your stomach. What the frick?
This is not gonna help your case when you 556.
611 feet.
Exactly.
Brody, you wanting to say something, Brody?
You know what that? You see what that tells you?
No, I have 6'11", 575, 527, 486, 478.
You've thrown a lot on there.
I measured a lot back in the day.
Yeah.
But the 6'11" was at a brawl.
I've got a 574.
Looks like he's throwing farther than Trevor, but the distance is very similar.
It's all about looks.
It's all about looks. I mean, you can't trust you. I mean, I have a.
No, that's what. This is not official. I said that.
Okay,
I said that.
You be more efficient with your form.
What does that even mean?
He's coming after me.
Can you describe that?
So no,
Anyways.
the 611 feet was at a brawl at Big Branch on hole 1. I eagled it. That down. It was like down over those like rolling hills, and there was like a 35 mile an hour tailwind. And I ripped a strike, a color glow strike on a hyzer flip line.
Dude, color glow strikes are good.
It went so far.
I remember that.
And I was like, I've got to measure that, and it was 611 feet. So that. I'm never coming close to that again because that was my.
Well, you could just go to a higher place.
I'd say that was like my that was like my
just
desert.
throw off a skyscraper.
That was like my desert distance, like my 1,100 foot world record distance is like 611 feet for me. That's kind of what I'm saying there. So what all of that had to do with USDGC is basically nothing. So day 3. What a day it was. Let's look at the throw pink women's first. We briefly mentioned it in the wrap up on the course, but Paige Pierce, I have never, ever
I think that's an all-time meltdown.
Seen Paige play like this. Ever. She had 1 birdie, 2 quadruple bogeys, 2.
It's crazy how many pars she had. I didn't even realize it was like that.
Yeah. She would just have blow-up holes. Like hole 10, Connor and I watched, and
it was rough.
I think she was on the green for birdie. No, she didn't hit the green regularly. She had a putt for par, and then missed the putt for par to like 30 feet, missed the putt for bogey, missed the putt for double bogey, missed the putt for triple bogey, made her quadruple bogey putt.
It's become more and more evident these days that Paige, like her problem with her game is completely just that, like she's gotten the yips, and it's gotten to that. It's kind of been that effect.
Well, I
where
wouldn't
like,
say she has. I mean, this round she had the yips, but you can't say she has
yeah,
like
but
an ongoing case
they're like
of the
they're
yips.
like in and out.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
like there are just times where she just does inexplicable things, and it has nothing to do with her ability. It's just the fact that she just does unexplainable things out there.
Well, so what I would love to hear, there's got to be a stat account, maybe Statmando or something could do this, is if this was the biggest collapse in a single round in disc golf.
From a leader?
She was in the lead and ended up losing 22 strokes in one round.
Yeah, if somebody can find out if that's the most strokes lost by a leader in a tournament.
Yeah, I mean that's insane.
It feels like the most I've ever heard of.
I can't.
I mean, it was legitimately like at first it was like, this is crazy. Like Valerie Mandujano's taking the lead through 3 holes. She's getting 8 strokes.
And I'm kind of bummed out that Paige isn't even in the
then
mix.
Then you get
anymore.
to like hole 10, and I was like, this is just getting like bad to watch. Like I was like, I wasn't. Like, I was getting excited for Valerie and all these players sneaking in because it was making it interesting. But it was getting, like, hard to watch anymore. Because it was like, Paige, just lay up. And that was the other thing is, like, she just kept getting more aggressive.
That's just frustration there.
Yeah, like, it felt like every hole she was just kind of, like, going for more and more stuff. And it just wasn't working. But Missy Gannon was able to capitalize. She shot 4 under par with only a single bogey. Exactly what you'd said, I think, the past few days.
Let me tell you
something. If she could clean up 17 and 18, which she did today.
Let me say, Kona Panis on that second card, I know for a fact that she's playing this very consistent rounds because I was taking the over for a few times on the prize picks, and it wasn't working. She is very consistently shooting around even par. If that lead card gets really gets super nervous and starts blowing up, watch out for Kona on that second card. That is somebody you should watch for.
She did shoot even today with, it looks like, 5 bogeys.
That's what I'm saying.
So if she cleans it up, she could realistically get to.
She's just kind of been hanging around. She has not been up and down. She's been hanging around right there. So like,
that is an interesting
point.
If
that lead card implodes a little bit, like I would watch out.
Yeah, Deanne Carey really seemed like she was going to be in it. She triple bogeyed hole 8, so instead of being an even par, she's at 3 over. Valerie Mandujano, first part of the round, every single day has looked extremely confident, extremely in control. If she can clean up the whole back 9, she could easily walk away with the win here.
I also want to say
there's so many players that could win right now.
I also feel like whoever has the lead going into 17 FPO is not going to win the tournament.
There's a hot
That's
take.
another thing. It just seems like it's obviously it'd be surprised if it isn't close enough for 17 to be super super important. And I just it's almost like one of those like who has the ball last situations. I feel like it's going to be like whoever doesn't have the possession. Lead. Yeah. Like, it's going to be real interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely. I'm excited to watch that round tomorrow. Missy Gannon, Haley King, Valerie Mandujano, and Owen Scoggins. Excuse me, I'm going to be on the lead card. Going to be on the lead card tomorrow. So it's definitely going to be a fun one to watch. I was rooting for Heather Young too. She'd been dissecting this course so well.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't have the distance to attack a lot of the holes, but she was just placing them in such great spots. But unfortunately, she had a rough back.
Her back 9, yeah.
It just kind of fell apart there. But I haven't got to watch Haley King play this course much. Missy Gannon, I caught a few of her shots. I did get to see a lot of Valerie today, and I haven't got to see much of Owen.
Man,
so
I bet we didn't expect Kat to finish in front of Paige after the first 2 rounds.
No, we did. Well, she still hasn't. Her and Paige almost around the same card.
Yeah, they're
3
close,
strokes apart.
but it's pretty.
I mean, I feel like
Kat
Paige
has not had a single good round.
No, and yet she's beating Paige by 3.
Yeah. Wow.
I think Paige is gonna have an okay round tomorrow. It's gonna be tough because Paige is going to be going for.
I bet
everything.
she's like 3 or 4 over.
So
probably.
if she comes out and like starts hot, then she might be able to get hot and get to like 8 or 9 under. But
imagine she shot like 9 under and like
finishes at 2
back,
over.
like got into the clubhouse and like was only like 1 off the lead to where the leaders were like, oh my gosh, she's already in the clubhouse at like 2 over. That'd be crazy. Somebody do something like that.
That would be wild. Where that's probably more likely to happen though is on the MPO side with the USDGC. We had Paul McBeth shooting an extremely impressive 11 under, bogey free, especially considering his first 12 holes were in the rain, or 11 holes at least. 12 holes were in the rain.
Such a good round.
And so he came out the gates hot. He now is sitting with a 1-stroke lead over last year's champion, Chris Dickerson, who was able to shoot a 4 under today with a double bogey and a bogey. Drew Gibson, we talked about him some. He snuck up there. He's now 4 back the lead. Martin Hindle, we've talked about him some. He's been playing very solid. He seems like he always finds a way to play solid at USDGC. And then Ricky is leading the chase card, which I feel like that is a dangerous spot for Ricky. Because what'll happen sometimes with Ricky or Paul is if they can be on the top of the chase card where they're like in the mix but you can't see them, is they're able to put like an unusual pressure on the lead card.
Yeah.
Because like you can't see it happening, so you don't know exactly what you need to do until you're checking your phone. Then the more you check your phone, the more it kind of gets in your head. And so if Ricky's able to do it, he can really push and put a lot of like weird pressure from that chase card onto the leaders.
I think, didn't Paul win from chase card one year?
USDGC?
Yeah. I feel like that happened. Maybe he just made his way up to second from like being way behind one time.
I know that at European Open, he went to the final round like he was on. See, Paul I think is almost the opposite. Paul has an effect where he can do the same thing like I just said with Ricky, but Paul has an effect where if you watch him start to catch you, players seem to fall apart. Yeah. That's what happened at European Open a few years ago. He was like, I think it was 8 strokes back going to the final round on Rick and ended up coming back and winning. But it's just because like you start to see it chip away.
Yeah.
But Ricky, I feel like does better if he's not there.
I do think being 4 back from Dickerson and 5 from Paul, it's a big ask. It's unlikely that one of those two, like it's likely that one of those two could fold, but for both of them to shoot back, like Ricky's gonna have to shoot really, really, like he's gonna need like a 12 under and hope that like either Paul or Chris is like just like a little warm.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, if Paul or Chris, go off tomorrow, it's up to them.
And we cannot ignore Drew.
No,
we've seen Drew firsthand. I don't know if we mentioned this. We played a few practice rounds with Drew. That joke's going to get old quick. Yeah. No, but really, though, he's been looking extremely good. Today, he shot 6 under with that bad stretch of a bogey back-to-back doubles. So that could have easily been Paul's 11 under. he does something like that tomorrow, we might be looking at Drew Gibson as the champion.
Yeah.
So, Trevor, I've asked you this the past few days. What do you think, or who do you think is going to walk away with this now that you see the final lead card, you see the top 10? Who's walking away with this win tomorrow?
Yeah, this one's like a conflict of interest because obviously Dickerson was my pick to win. So, like, on one hand, I'm like, oh, well, here he is in position to win. But then also, like, I'm rooting for Paul. And the problem is now I believe Paul is going to win. It's not even just that I'm rooting for him. Like Dickerson, I want to pick Dickerson because he is my pick to win from the get-go. But if I really talk about who I think is going to win, I do think Paul is going to hold on and win. I think he's going to separate enough on the front nine to where he can play safe on the back, and other guys are going to make aggressive mistakes, and then he'll hang on.
I do agree. I think he's going to do it a bit different way. I think if Paul at any point starts playing safe, he loses it. That's my take.
Well, I'm not saying safe, just like...
No, Paul... What I've seen from Paul is, especially this season...
I'm not talking about, like, go for it on 10 or not. I'm talking in, like, you throw your shot, your drive on 12 is short, throw to the corner instead of going for it.
That's what I'm saying. It's decisions like that, I think, lose Paul this tournament.
That's not. There's different examples.
I think going OB is what loses him this tournament.
Yeah, I don't think...
Okay, well, that's what I'm saying is going to cause him to go
I'm not talking about, like,
here's what I've noticed
forcing
with Paul
aggressive.
is,
I'm just talking about not being, like, over-aggressive.
But here's what I've figured out with Paul is 9 times out of 10, his practice rounds, he's playing the aggressive shot because he's aggressive. So what happens, especially at a course like this, is if late in the round he has a lead, this has happened at Idlewild, happened to other courses, he hasn't practiced the safe shots. So when he like goes to throw that layup shot, he doesn't know the distance.
I've seen that example. I'm just saying, I think on this course, it's a little bit different because, like, I mean, I've watched him throw a lot of these, like, I've watched him get out of position on a lot of these holes down the stretch and then make the safe play. It's just like on 14, landing 60 short. What did he do today? Laid it up and tapped in his par.
On which hole?
Not on 16, on 14.
No, well, that's laying up is a lot different than on 12 having to throw an approach shot to a tight fairway versus going for it.
I literally just said that's what I mean. Like he's just going to, it's the difference between, I'm saying he's going to be aggressive, but just not over aggressive. Because in this course, you can be over aggressive. So when I say play safer, I mean he's going to make decisions like that. Whereas if he was playing over aggressive, he would run that putt because it's makeable putt.
Yeah. I mean, sure, he can lay up putts and still win. I'm saying your example was hole 12. You said hole 12. I think he makes
on
decisions.
hole 12, I've watched him lay up to the corner.
I'm just saying if he's like off the tee making decisions like that, I think he loses.
No, not off the tee. I'm saying if he gets out of position. No, I'm saying he throws.
We're all over the place.
I'm not. I'm saying if he throws his drive to a bad shot.
Hey, Pud. I'm not getting aggressive here. I think we're saying the same thing.
No,
I think we agree.
No, you just said. I'm saying on hole 12, if he throws his tee shot to a bad spot, not trying to, then he lays up to the corner. Not like he's saying, I'm just going to throw 2 layup shots.
So off the tee, he's still playing aggressive.
Yeah, he plays.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so if Paul keeps playing aggressive.
I don't think there's such thing as aggressive on 12. Like, I mean, there is, but like.
For the tournament, if Paul on the tee keeps his foot on the gas, I agree. I think he wins. If at any point on the tee he starts thinking and playing safe, I think he loses.
Whatever. I throw further than you.
What?
So uncalled for.
I'm done with you.
Did what I say right there not make sense?
No.
Connor, did it make sense? Third party?
I wasn't listening. I lied.
I said if Paul starts playing safe off the tee, I think he loses. If he keeps his foot on the gas on the tee shot.
I would agree with that.
Okay. That's what I've been saying the whole time.
No. You put words in my mouth.
I'm just mad at you because you pulled out the Bud card and you really didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
I pulled out the Bud card?
Yeah, you said Bud.
That's not cool.
And you know you did. You know you did and you know it.
I didn't mean to.
You did.
Yeah,
you were trying to just add that little bit.
That's patronizing.
All right, well, I think Paul's going to walk away and win. If Paul doesn't win, I honestly think his next closest competitor is going to be Ricky. I think Ricky's going to come out and storm. I think he's going to push for the lead.
2 over par tomorrow.
Okay. I think Ricky's going to storm for the lead, and I think if Paul doesn't win, Ricky's going to be the ones there. I just don't see Chris Dickerson going back-to-back. I would love to see Drew win, but in a much more real way, I'm hurt, and I think Drew is dead to me. Not really.
Whoa.
He's not really.
I would be wildly...
Come after my boy like that.
I'd be wildly impressed if Drew is able to hang
I would be too.
tomorrow.
He's played very solid, but it's a special kind of pressure.
I mean,
we'll see what happens.
He did a lot of bad... had some really bad holes today and then still held on.
Yeah, he still held on.
That's why I feel like
it's going to take more
round 3
than holding on, though, for him to push it. And let's also look at the weather for tomorrow. It looks like, honestly, the worst conditions, if you can even say the worst conditions, are going to be in the morning.
It's not that bad, though.
It's not that bad. As the day goes on, the percentage chance of rain gets less and less. And the wind does seem a bit higher than what we've seen all week, but it still isn't looking awful. It looks like about steady 9 mile an hour, so you can probably expect gusts of like 15 to 20. So a little windy, enough to make players think, but if there's no rain out there, it's going to be at least scoreable. So someone is going to get low, and whoever in the top like 6 or 7 that's able to do that will probably be the person who pushes for the win. We'll see who that ends up being. But another thing going down tomorrow is the final of Dean's Cup. Let's actually throw it over to Trevor on the course where he got a chance to talk through the 2 teams who were able to take down their matches today.
All right, we're here at the Dean's Cup, and I'm with the Liberty Disc Golf team after their convincing 6-stroke victory over Texas A&M in the first round. I'm here with Justin and Spencer. Justin, what was going right for you guys out there today?
Not a whole ton. I feel like Spencer and Steven actually threw a lot of good shots there. Kind of carried me and Tristan a bit, but Tristan was throwing the disc amazingly and carried me a little bit there. Tristan made a few good putts, and coming down the stretch, we made some really good shots at the end.
So it sounds like you guys left a few strokes out there on the table. Spencer, what's going to be the change in strategy for tomorrow, if any?
Yeah, I think just communication. We had a couple of miscommunications that cost us a couple of strokes early on and then later in the round too. But, it's first tournament out. We got first time being back, all 4 of us playing together. So we'll clean that up and we'll be fine to go tomorrow.
Awesome. Sounds good. Well, best of luck to you guys.
Thank you.
All right, I'm here with Cameron from Missouri S&T after their 2-stroke victory over the defending national champions, Georgia. Cameron, what would you say was the defining kind of game-changing moment out there today on the course?
We had a really rough start. I think we started off really slow, but as soon as we got that first birdie, we really got going. Our adversity kept us going and made some big putts and got it done.
Yeah, absolutely. So going up against Liberty tomorrow in the finals, obviously another pretty talented team. Is there any kind of strategy change going in tomorrow, or just kind of play your game and hope things go your way?
I mean, we know they're good. I don't think there's a strategy change because who we're playing. I think we know the mistakes we made and we know what to adjust. So we're gonna fix what we did wrong today and play our best tomorrow.
All right, sounds good. Good luck to you guys.
Yep,
All right, so there's the 2 teams who are going to face off tomorrow. Trevor, you got to watch most of the match. Going into tomorrow, who do you think is going to take down the Dean's Cup?
Well, Liberty certainly had a more commanding victory today, but I think the biggest thing I noticed from all 4 of the teams was just that everybody looked really nervous, which I remember playing at Dean's Cup. You're playing the course that you dream of playing for a lot of those guys, so it's super nerve-wracking. And then in doubles, there's so many shots where you want to be able to throw. Like the layup is typically the easy shot, but on this course, you typically, you want to get the layup so badly because your partner has a chance to throw a really cool aggressive shot. So I saw a lot of mistakes throwing that layup shot where then they had to lay up a second time under pressure. So it's going to be anytime you're playing like head to head, your only opponent is right there in front of you. It's usually pretty back and forth. If Liberty can pull away early, then that could definitely help. But I think it'll be down to the wire, and there's certainly no clear-cut winner. Missouri S&T, they were able to battle and play under more adversity today, so they've kind of been through that. So yeah, it should be pretty close though.
I'm feeling pretty confident in the Liberty pick. I think I didn't get to see a ton of it. You got to see more than me today, but from what I saw, Liberty just seems to have the more solid all-around team, and they also, I don't know. I feel decently confident that Liberty's gonna win tomorrow. But like you said, it probably will be close. It might even come down to 17 and 18. And we'll be sure to recap all of that over on our Instagram. Also, be sure to follow Trevor if you want one last look at the Brody tracker. Brody's final round. Brody said he is going all in tomorrow, so he's either shooting a 60 or 75. We'll see what that ends up happening. You can watch all of that on at @FDG_Trevor over on Twitter. Trevor will also be updating you on Instagram for the Dean's Cup. And then after the Dean's Cup, I'll be following the Throw Pink Women's lead card and the MPO main lead card. You can check those updates out on our main Instagram or on my Twitter at @FDG_Hunter. And also don't forget to check out the pay-per-view package. Both rounds tomorrow, I can almost guarantee you, are going to be extremely interesting. If you haven't looked at the pay-per-view package, I would highly consider it. I have heard a lot of good things about the stream. I haven't had a chance to personally watch it because I've been on the course, but the moments I have caught in the tent have looked great. I think I heard they have close to 20 cameras out here, which I fully believe.
I've seen a lot.
There's a whole lot of cameras. They're definitely doing it right on the physical coverage side. Whether or not you agree with the pay-per-view or not, we'll have to get into it a later episode of Grip Locked, but definitely check that out. If you're in a position you can do so, split it with a few friends, have them over, watch the final round. It's going to be a good time. And we will actually not have an episode on Sunday. The next episode of Grip Locked will be our normal time next week on Thursday, where we'll do the full USDGC recap, breakdown, all of that, and then look at the Pro Tour finale. So thank you so much for joining us for each of these episodes here at USDGC Week. If you've enjoyed this, let us know in the comments down below. Maybe we'll bring it back for all the majors next year or something like that. It's definitely been a really good time. We've enjoyed our time out here, and thanks again to Innova and USDGC for welcoming us down here and basically giving us the green light to have the opportunity to create all this content for you guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. And if you're on the course tomorrow, be sure to stop by and say what's up. We really appreciate all of you that have done that so far. It means the world to us to be able to meet you guys. And we will talk to you all next week.